My 27/F, GF 30/F, hasn't had a job in 4 years and it's wearing me down. Hi everyone, I started to LDR with a girl I met through a friend, which lasted about a year, and culminated her moving across state lines to be with me in the city. Everything was great, and we were truly in love with each other. Because she moved across state lines, and because she expressed the desire to leave her toxic field of choice and try her hand at something more banal, I agreed to take on the burden of supporting her for a while until she had a job. She would take on most of the cleaning and groceries etc. while I was at work. I even agreed to sleep on a mattress in the kitchen because she had chronic insomnia problems and required very specific constraints under which she got sleep. I could not tolerate these while working. I feel like I've done everything I could for her, including taking care of her expensive medical needs, which destroyed my savings. After around 1.5 to 2 years, I started to develop an anxiety disorder under the stress of supporting her. What had at first been something I was willing to do out of kindness and love quickly became a consent issue, and has turned into a burden. Fast forward to now, 4 years after she came to the city, and still no job. I am a nervous wreck, and I feel completely emotionally run down by the burden of supporting her. I've destroyed my body by putting on weight due to the stress as well. I used to be pretty happy and carefree, but now I'm just depressed and anxious all the time. We have a non-existent sex life because my sex drive has tanked completely. I don't know what to do because I still love her and we have a loving romantic relationship otherwise. She's never really done anything wrong, if that makes sense. She's been loving, helpful, and genuinely seems affected by not succeeding in finding a job and helping shoulder the burden. I never really cared for my mental health much before, but it's really starting to affect me. I've become emotionally unstable, and sometimes the stress and resentment come through in my interactions with her. The hardest part about this is that I can tell she's trying and just failing. I've tried to help and I've been rebuffed several times and only able to help a bit, but otherwise, she hasn't done anything wrong. If she has, I haven't been able to tell what she's doing wrong in particular, because I can't and don't want to be there 24/7 to monitor every job application. But I am resentful because I feel like I've sacrificed everything from my body to my mental health to make this relationship happen, but it's just not happening. What do I do? To make it clear, this is a big, deal-breaking issue for me that I've told her is my primary source of stress and anxiety. I don't see much change, and I think she's too ashamed at this point to give me updates, which just compounds my stress because of the radio silence. Too long didn't read. LDRGF turned Earl hasn't had a job in 4 years and I've gone from happy to anxious wreck supporting her. What do? Oh my, listen love, you deserve so much better. I understand that the love is still there, so you need to sit her down and tell her that you cannot sacrifice anymore. She needs to get a job and help you out. 4 years should be plenty of time to be able to find something. You deserve to be happy and not emotionally dead. Please talk to her. You said it was a deal breaker. So break the deal. Break up and let her go. Don't give her more time. She doesn't deserve it. You have wasted way too much of your life on this moocher. I'm sorry you wasted 4 years of your life on her. I think she knew what she was doing from the very start. Kick her out as soon as you can. She is not your responsibility. I think you've done more than enough and she is the type of person who will just continue to take whatever you have to offer, without feeling the need to give back in any way. She is happy to just let you support her without offering you any support in return. This is a one-sided relationship that is making you sick. I think you need to tell her to leave. You need to start putting yourself first. If I were in that position I'd tell her I couldn't support her anymore because she's becoming a burden. I know you probably care about her, but I think you need to spell it out for her. Tell her how it negatively impacts your life and how you can't keep financing her. Tell her that you care about her a lot and that you wish you didn't need to ask her to get a job, but tell her it's your last resort. Tell her that it makes you anxious and stressed and how it's affecting your mental health. And after that, if she still hasn't done anything to get a job, then she doesn't care enough. No one that cares a lot about their partner would want to be a burden. They do their best to help out as much as they can. My 37/F mother, 68/F, wants the stuff back that she left at my house 7 years ago. So I bought my house 7 years ago, and shortly after my mother sold her house and downsized to an apartment. She then left tons and tons of boxes in my basement, explaining that they were family heirlooms or just things she wanted me to have. I really didn't want this stuff, but figured it was kinda to just not fight her, and I'd have to go through it all when she dies someday anyways, so it's better to just do it now. I'm now looking at selling my house in the spring and have to tackle these boxes. I've done some posts about it on the decluttering subreddit. My mom has an apparently hard time letting go of these things, and these are far from family heirlooms. Just loads and loads of junk and weird crap. For example, broken ceramics, many broken things, photographs that are overexposed and just an orange blob, and guest books from funerals of people I'm not sure how I'm even related to them. So I've been going through and throwing things away. I didn't tell her I was going to do this, assuming she would never ask for this stuff again, and I could always say, oh, it's in the basement, but I don't know which box, and just blow her off. I also figured she had no idea what was in these boxes. For instance, one box was just diet books from the 1980s and old road maps. Here's where I messed up. I called my sister, also 37/F, and vented to her about the boxes my mum left. I also told her I was throwing stuff out and cleared it with her first. She was like, definitely get rid of this shit. I've thrown away all the stuff she left me. I threw away my mom's high school yearbooks. She had 4 of them, and figured she could go on the classmates website if she ever wanted to look at them again. I had thrown out my own HS yearbook long ago because, quite frankly, HS is not something I want to remember. I did not tell my mom I was going to throw this stuff out because I knew she would have a fit about it and guilt trip me and be overall disappointed in me. I'm pretty sure my sister told my mom about it because now my mother is emailing me asking for the yearbooks and a few other things. I have the other stuff but not the yearbooks. I tried to blow her off, but she is being insistent. We've had a difficult relationship in the past and have in the past gone 2 years without contact. I have been distant from both her and my sister lately and find that minimal contact with them really helps with my daily stress levels. Part of me worries that her asking for this stuff back is like she is breaking up with me. There's also a lot of hurt feelings, like she values these things more than her relationship with me, as in it's easier to just take them back than work on being a nicer parent to me. I also don't know how to respond in a way that won't torpedo our nice relationship. Too long didn't read. I threw away some stuff mom left at my house and now she's asking for it back. Not sure how to respond to her in a way where she won't lose her shit. Do you still have many of the boxes? So you can give her all of those back. Odds are she won't unpack them. You could even say you don't know what's left, as a few boxes of paper got wet / had mice / something. Usually I advocate telling truth to everyone, but she left these at your house for 7 years with no plans to ever get them and told you they were for you. Once you give someone junk and say it's an heirloom, you no longer have a say in what happens to it, but she won't see it that way. I've whittled it all down to 3 to 4 large boxes. We started with probably 12. I'm thinking she won't remember how many we started with, and 4 large boxes will seem like a lot to her. I just sent her this email. When you left all that stuff at my house, I thought you were giving it to me. What I'm going to do is set it all aside and return it to you before I move. I think that's the best option for bringing the matter to a happy close. I think you went about this the wrong way. Instead of sneakily going through it and throwing stuff away that you thought was garbage in the hopes that she wouldn't want it again, you should have told her she has until X date to collect her belongings, otherwise it's all being hauled to the dump. Yes, she had 7 years, but it doesn't sound like you talked to her about going through or getting rid of this stuff at all. At this point, all you can do is be honest and accept the fallout. In the future, don't agree to store things for people, and if you do, don't get rid of it without informing them. If you didn't want this stuff, you should have given it back to her, not just randomly started throwing it away. If she's difficult and you weren't in contact with her, you could have given her a warning, e.g. collect it in 14 days or I will throw away, and then start. You say it was all junk, but stuff like high school yearbooks and funeral books are not junk. You may not care to keep yours, but that doesn't mean everyone doesn't. Regardless of the contents of the boxes, you gave an undertaking to store them for her. You can end that agreement at any time, but that does not give you the right to throw away her possessions. I'm not sure what's in the basement. If you want it, come get it by date, or I'm throwing all of it out. I was with you when you said you were throwing out mostly broken stuff, but high school yearbooks don't seem like junk to me. I agree that she maybe had little claim to the stuff at this point given the amount of time is sat there, but I personally would be pretty sad if someone threw away my high school yearbooks. Yeah, that's just wrong. It makes me second guess what other things she tossed that had sentimental value. In the start it sounds like it was just junk and it was mock sentimental heirlooms. But yearbooks? What? That's just mean-spirited. You know that book that all your friends when you were young signed, and it has all the photos of all your lost friends? You remember them? She died in car accident. My friend over here is living in Phoenix. I used to date him. Oh, they were so sweet. Yeah, I threw them away. Yeah, there were fun notes and happy well wishes, but she can Google a classmate's website or something. I mean, nobody should be expected to hang on to a large number of boxes of junk, but you know, that's just cold. And it's not like Poster grew up living in the digital age and didn't understand. She's 37. My 35F boyfriend of 3 years, 42M, always retaliates when I do something he doesn't like. I understand this isn't normal and I probably need to leave. I don't know how to draw boundaries very well. For example, I am doing all the legwork and paying for his custody case with his kids, and I do a large share of the childcare. This wouldn't be an issue if every time I go and see my family he didn't get upset and start a fight with me. My family does not like him and therefore does not want to meet him or have him visit, so I either have to come back early or not go at all. His rationale for being upset is that I am enabling my parents to ignore him by continuing to see them like nothing is wrong, and that when his sisters refused to accept me he basically cut them off until they came around. Tried setting a boundary last night, saying I understand him feeling left out and upset and that I was trying to get my parents to come around bit by bit. I suggested maybe he could try getting them some gifts for upcoming days and holidays as a gesture, or just something to show that he wanted to meet them. The best thing he could do is treat me well and not leech off me, but I couldn't say that. I then said I didn't appreciate him criticizing me for something out of my control, and that while I get that it sucks I can't just cut them off because 1, it won't work, and 2, I really need my family as we are very close. He ended up going to bed cold and not affectionate at all, and I tried to cope with it hoping he would be up for talking in the morning or get over it. So usually if I try to set a boundary he then escalates. This morning he woke me up and told me he was going to work and that I should go to my parents all day because that's what I want to do so badly, and that he was going to go to his cousins after work, then pick his kids up and not be home until late. He never goes to his cousins, and while I have nothing against this, it seems like a tit for tat, retaliation type thing. What would a normal person do in this situation? It sets up a weird panic/anxiety mechanism in me, and he knows this, where I feel like I am being punished and where I know that taking the day to see my parents is like a trap. What would a normal person feel? Would they just feel this was a win/win and be like, oh okay, I guess I will see you tonight? I feel like this behavior is almost like dealing with a child who first throws a tantrum, then if that doesn't work tries to withdraw and sulk, and then if that doesn't work says, well, you do this to me so I'm going to do it back to you right now and twice as bad. BTW, I know I need to leave. I am just asking to 1, help solidify my resolve to do so, and 2, so I know how to stay level-headed in the meantime until I leave. TLDR, my so picks a fight every time I go see my family and then does a weird retaliation thing the next day. How do normal people handle this before just leaving?